All right, Silas. You've come back. You've got a decision. Who have you decided on?
So, going into this, I thought it was going to go a very different way initially. But I feel like there's someone amongst the group who is more in line with my values and who I am as a person. And I'm excited to see where that goes. So my choice is pretty obvious. It's contestant 4.
Oh my lollipop. Oh my god, it's me. Oh god, it's you. Oh, I'm so happy.
Well, I'm delighted that you're excited. I'm excited to see where this goes as well. I think you would be a fresh take here in the city, and I'm actually excited about where this is headed.
I can't wait for the day.
Silas, I would like to introduce you to Ashatari.
Well, it is a pleasure to meet you, Ashatari. Let's go ahead and head on out.
That sounds terrific.
Wow. Hello, my name's Rebecca.
And I'm Steven.
And we are doing an out-of-character interview with 2 of our D&D buddies who've joined us for the Silas DeCivis dating show episode.
Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Tessa. I play a wizard folk in Steve's Eberron Campaign. I'm a librarian.
Okay. I'm Anthony. I play a Kalashtar scion/wizard in Steve's Eberron Campaign.
My character's name is Eartha.
And mine is Ashatari.
And we are delighted to have them in the booth today with Silas, tormenting that poor man. Guys, it is so nice that we have you with us today, because I love both of you guys. They are regulars in my Eberron game that we normally do once a week, and
that we try to do.
We try. Honestly, with the podcast and everything else, it's always like, hey, today is going to have to slide. I'm sorry, guys. But they have been so accommodating. All of the members of the group have been fantastic. And I want to thank you both again for being patient and coming in, because initially I think I had a whole different group of people, and then it got turned around, and you guys have been consistent and stayed, and I love you guys so much for it.
We love you too.
Very much.
And also, like, the days that you can't do the campaign also coincide with when I just have a lot on my plate. I'm like, okay, this is, like, I love doing the game.
But... It's COVID time. I think we're all completely understanding that things come up.
Life gets in the way, and sometimes it's not even like I've got too much on my plate. It's literally like I just had so much on my plate, and this is the first day that I've been able to breathe.
Yeah.
And D&D sounds like a bit much today.
That's why, like, when we do, like, Jackbox or sometimes Among Us and things like that, It's been really nice just having a light, fun game and just a palate cleanser for all of the serious stuff that goes on sometimes.
Yes.
That's exactly how I feel.
So you guys were not familiar with Eberron before we brought you into the game. How are you liking it?
Well, I'm definitely enjoying the setting in that it is still, in a lot of ways, like a setting I'm familiar with, but it is also something completely new with different rules. I hadn't even played anything besides 5e before this, so playing a 3.5 Eberron campaign has just really broadened my RPG horizons, and also you're a very allowing DM, and it's like really fun when I come up with this just crazy idea, and you're like, sure, try it, and it's a good time.
I do try and yes and constantly and try and be like I consider myself to be like a passive DM in that I'm not there to force you guys. At one point in time, you're like, all right, we need to find someone new to work with us, and you threw a stone in a bar and hit somebody, and that person, you're like, well, we're friends now, and absolutely fine. Well, what am I gonna do? Step in and be like, no, everyone's offended. No, it's a bar. They're having fun. That and you're a giant lizard folk. I'm intimidated by you.
I'm genuinely surprised that didn't end up in a bar fight, but I'm really happy it didn't.
No,
Part of it was your character, Kat, just like explaining it, like, she's gonna throw a brick, and one of you is gonna get hit, and you'll have the pleasure of working with us. It's just...
Like, Kat has just like so much big dick energy, and I think it's helped by the fact that she's constantly hanging around a lizard folk that's literally 3 times her size.
Which is real funny. I love playing this big, strong woman character when in person I'm like 5'1".
Tessa is so tiny.
Yes.
I love
own
it.
So, in that campaign, we also had Anthony. You came in after the fact.
Yes.
You were part of the group when everyone else was on the train and it was being hijacked, and you woke up and the train is being robbed, and you tried to intercede, and it was a very interesting way to look at it, and then you just stuck with the group. It was so much fun.
There was an interview process.
Oh, that's right, the interview process. My apologies, of course,
part.
the interview process.
We all sat down on one side of the table. Ashatari is on the other. We're like, okay, but can I trust you? He's just like, I don't know what's going on.
I think that's sort of the best part. I haven't played anything other than 5e either. I got Tessa into D&D, and she pulled me into this, and I'm new. I needed a bit of sort of like hand-holding for a bit while there, and the fact that you guys were so like amazing and strong and sort of let my character come in and interview for being part of the group really helped, I think.
It is a I'm sorry, go ahead, Tessa.
Just like, what the heck is a spot check?
Yes.
So then I think that brings us to a good question. How do you feel about 3.5 and its mechanics?
We went a long time without playing, and but we did play other games in the meantime that were 5e, and coming back to that character sheet was just like a kind of emotion I did not expect to feel, of like slight panic. I was like, I have forgotten everything about everything. But like once we started playing a little bit, like when we started just talking in the beginning of the session, like bullshitting, are we allowed to curse?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. No, I don't give a fuck at all. Let's do it.
During this portion we can. During the in-character interview.
The in-character, please. Yeah.
During the in-character interview, we are limited to like PG-13 rules, so we can drop exactly one F-bomb.
Yeah, I don't know where it is yet.
It's a contest on who out of the two of us who can use it first.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I don't even know what I was saying. So I like quickly scrolled through the character sheet on like, okay, remember, Brian, remember. And it all came back to me. It was all fine.
I personally am still confused. I'm sort of sticking to like 5 things that I know how to do, and that is spot checks, roll magic attack rolls, do a country accent, smile, try not to die. That's it.
Eartha, I am in the first place. I wanted to.
You're just there to smile and be pretty while everybody else dies around you.
Yes.
Oh yes. Wait, you have healing, right?
I'm sorry. Hang on, Tessa. Can you go again on that? It came through very robotic for a moment there.
Oh, you're good. Which part?
Rectify and healing.
Yeah, does Ashatari have healing?
No.
Oh, because then it'd be like you stand back and like look pretty, and then you do the healing, but you're just really just there to be pretty.
Yes, that's my entire role.
No one has. This team is stacked very weirdly, and I feel like healers never end up in games most of the time. No one wants to play a cleric or a paladin, even a bard with like 1 or 2 healing spells. They're like, not really.
I've played clerics before. Played healing boys.
Like how Ashatari has like a very sort of southern country accent. Eartha, I just wanted to have a husky voice, but at one point it started turning more like Spanish, and sometimes it slips into kind of like Russian. I'm not sure what I'm doing half of the time.
It's great, is what it is. It's amazing.
No one's gonna question Eartha if her accent changes. Everyone's just gonna be like, "No, that's all right. I don't want the alligator to attack me."
But it's been this whole time.
I can destroy you verbally and physically.
I don't feel like being eaten today.
Eartha has been my biggest challenge as a DM because she is a fucking tank. And it is so hard to hit her with anything.
So, fun fact. Just for the two of you, now you know, the secret's out. Eartha is actually 1 to 2 levels higher than the rest of the party because of a mistake on Steven's part.
I made a mistake when we were doing that because I forgot about stuff, and I was like, she is fucking strong as shit. What is going on here? And I looked back through it, and I was like, oh, that's why. Oh yeah, I forgot. And it's not a big deal. It's really not. I want you to know, Eartha has been an absolute delight, and I love her so much, and I want her in my game still. So don't panic.
Well, if we need to, we can have a conversation of like, she needs nerfed, bruh, temporarily.
No.
That's the point of 3.5, is to just be as overpowered as possible.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have had rough fights. You guys have had serious encounters. I've made sure to keep it balanced. I just have to, while I'm DMing, look at stuff and be like, all right, I have to change this while we're doing it. So
think about it this way. Eartha is pulling Cat's weight, too, because Cat is genuine shit in a fight.
She really is. Cat is terrible in a fight. It's funny though, because like I mean, every time that I pull something, like the one that we're doing now is like a level 1 adventure, but I've just retrofit it so that way it fits your group.
I think that
man, the tension and anger. Oh, it's so good in this one.
I feel like Kat and Eartha have kind of a Kronk and Yzma dynamic, but healthy. Like,
but healthy, exactly.
Like, I'm just the himbo, and there's like the hard mastermind.
It's true. It really is.
Oh man, I really love my group that I have. It's been so fun playing with all of you, and there have been times where the entire roleplay session is just letting you guys have at it and be ridiculous and be over the top, and I really enjoy that. Not having to force you guys, because I've wanted to be that DM where I'm like, it's the whole time and an action adventure, and someone kicks down the door, but sometimes you just want a little bit of growth and inner party conflict and things like that. I like that. I really enjoy having that. So, Anthony, you did mention that you got Tessa into D&D. So let's ask, what got you into D&D? What was your first D&D session?
I got into D&D because someone recommended the podcast The Adventure Zone to me. And after listening through it, I was walking into the Meadowbrook Mall when I saw a big whiteboard sign that said D&D night, Wednesday, 7 p.m. And I said, wow, if only it wasn't 8 p.m. Wednesday. And came back next week and played.
Oh my god, I'm sorry, that's hilarious.
And I came back the next week and I played, I believe it was Beasts of... No, it was with like Andrew, and I played a ranger for the night, and came back next week, and we ran a one-shot where I met Jed and I believe Caitlin as well. And then that just sort of opened me up to everything, why I just kept coming back, because I loved all you guys. You guys were great. And it was so much fun playing D&D with you.
I mean, we're all right, I guess.
No, we're a nightmare. It's only great in my game. In all the other games we're in, we're terrible.
It's true.
If I'm a player, I'm the worst.
But no, that's genuinely funny, because I know from personal experience, running games at our local friendly gaming store, that most of the time games don't start until like 8.
I was gonna say the sign says 7. The sign means 9. All right, we've all sat down. We all remembered to refresh our characters and go over everything again. Now I'm going to explain the plot of what's going on, and it's time to pack up and go.
Yeah.
Man, I miss the seeing everyone at the friendly local gaming store. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's just seeing the whole room full of people, and we're in such a remote location, and yet we had like 40 to 50 people playing there every
80
week.
people at one time.
I wasn't there for any of that nonsense. that was before me. I got in and they were like, "Let's cut down the numbers." This fucking guy. So Tessa, tell me about your introduction to D&D. I know it was through Anthony, but tell us a little bit about it.
We had just started hanging out together for a little while. I was like, cool. We started having like a movie night on Fridays where we would watch Dragon Ball Z. And he was like, "Hey, do you want to come to this D&D game with me?" But he didn't specify what time. And so I was like, oh, he must mean tonight. And like as the evening wore on, I was like, it's kind of storming. But he was like, oh no, it's Wednesday. But I got there and joined the table and really had no clue what I was doing. But I got this dwarf character named Sanguine, and he was a barbarian. And gosh, I miss that character so much. And like from there, it was just so much fun. And I remember when I wrote the backstory and sent it to the DM, he was saying like, "You win! Like this is the best backstory ever." And
he was right.
That was like a lot of encouragement. It probably went to my head a little bit, but it was just such a good time. And since then, that was like
almost 3-4 years ago.
Almost 4 years ago. I've been DMing for like almost 3 years now.
So 4 years, my goodness. Yeah, no, it feels like it's only been a short time. The time is really weird now. Pandemic has fucked it up.
But can I talk about how cute it was? They played D&D together. Like, oh my gosh, they're so cute. If you didn't know, you guys are our OTP.
Oh, absolutely.
Aww.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You are cinnamon rolls, and we must keep you safe at all costs.
It was actually on the drive home from D&D, like back to Morgantown. I was like, "Hey, do you want to date me?" And
Okay, to be fair, I do want to say that when I first met, we met at 4-H camp. But when I texted her, like the first time when I went to college, I was like, "Hey, you want to go out?" And she was like, "Let's be friends for a while first, so I know you better."
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm glad D&D could bring you together like that. I think that was the final push there. Thank goodness. Without D&D, who knows what would have happened.
Yes, but in the response to the OTP comment, like the game we play on Tuesdays, it's like most of my favorite people in one chat. And then I'm thinking Brian, who seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
I absolutely... Brian is... I can't wait to bring him on, because he's going to come on as Zorchillic at some point in time, and then I get to talk about all of Kat and Tall's shenanigans and their weird flirty relationship that makes everyone uncomfortable.
Yeah. it's great because I'm pretty sure Kat just actually doesn't have any feelings for him.
We'll get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
But I was not expecting, and it's so fun when people from different sides of your life, like, come together and then they get along really well and it makes you feel good inside. Like, Brian was my friend from college. You guys are my friend, 15 years later? And that's completely different sides of my life. And man, you guys all get along and it's a really fun game. And hell if I don't love that.
If I knew you in college, I'd say, man, how long you've come, far you've come, whatever. But I didn't know you in college.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was part of the cool kids club. I went to an art school. I went to an art school, and they're no longer in business. That's how good of a college it was. They have gone under completely.
To be fair, the college that I went to is a university, and it's going on.
Yeah, but I went to visit my campus, and it was a shoe store, and I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with that? I just stood outside and I was like, man, all of the memories I had here were horrible, and yet I don't want it to be a shoe store. I just don't want this. It feels like it invalidates all of my pain.
Would you have rathered it be a different kind of store?
Maybe. At least
like an Apple store?
I'm not going to go in and buy like an expensive pair of shoes. I'm not going to go in there and get... I think it was like a Nike store, and I'm not going to go in there and buy a pair of Nikes. At least if it was a different store where I could have gone in and bought something, like, at least I feel like I'm still part of it. And now I feel like I'm excluded. Like one of those people like, I was here before when it used to be different.
I was in this school before it was cool.
You can't prevent me from coming in your shoe store to peruse. I went to school here. just...
That's the most insane thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it was like both like amazing to find out that, you know, I paid for a degree and that they've gone under, and I'm just mad about that I still have to pay. Like, fuck you. You bailed out. I still went. I have the degree, or I have the tuition to still pay off. Fuck you. Where was that going? I forget. Segue. I was going to ask about other things related.
Tessa really likes plants.
Oh, that's what I was going to mention. Yes, that Tessa is our go-to. Like, anytime we have questions about plants and magical related plants, like, Tessa, I'm doing a thing about a plant. I need you to read over it because I don't know anything about plants.
And that makes me so happy. Just like, it seems like the more I learn about plants, the more I realize there's like better plant gurus out there. And so like, you like little plant knowledgeless babies like looking up to me really validates my gardening ego in a little bit, in a way.
This interview is fucking done. I'm not being called a baby. This is ridiculous. Fuck you guys. No,
see, I just have this image in my head of like Steve wearing a diaper, and he's got like a succulent that's dead in one hand and like a binky in the other, and he's just like, Tessa!
I think initially it was because of Creatober. I was doing different things for Creatober, and I was like, hey, I'm doing a cocktail. Would you mind reading it over? And part of the history of the cocktail included reference to like a plant, and Tessa was like, no, this is not how this works at all. I understand it's magical, but you need to fucking get this right, Steve.
I try my best. The thing is, if it does turn out to be like, oh man, Tessa made a mistake, you're not gonna come after me. I'm the plant guru.
We want the grass outside to grow properly. I will not offend the druid.
I actually, someone invited me to a game on Wednesdays, like over Discord, and like the concept was that us ourselves got mysteriously teleported into the Forgotten Realms, and so I had to figure out what class to be. And I was like, I kind of forgot druids were a thing for a solid like day. I was like, I really like puns and like dad jokes. Maybe I can be like a bard or something, like work with that. And they're like, don't you like plants? I was like, oh yeah, what the like as we talk, there's like a cactus, like a really lanky one that's like poking my leg because I can't move it yet. Like, and the closet behind me is just full of like plant matter.
I was gonna say, when we went to your house, it had like plants everywhere, and it was very threatening. It was a very threatening aura on all the plants when we were there.
From just what she said, I have this mental image of like your typical cactus, but it's got like one finger poking out, and it's just sitting in the middle of the room, just poking at her. I can't move him yet.
It's just like flipping the bird. It's called a fishbone cactus, if you want to look at a picture of it, or they call it a zigzag cactus, and it's like an arboreal thing, and it looks kind of like a cartoon fishbone, but between each of the spines, like not spines, like ribs, it has a tiny little needle, like a cactus needle, and I did not know it had that when I adopted it, and getting it into my car was an adventure nonetheless. Like,
oh no.
And funny, if you don't mind, I have the story about it.
Oh no, please, absolutely.
Before you begin, I will say that it looks like what like cartoon algae looks like.
Okay, I can see that.
Or like seaweed.
If my druid was to have leaves in their hair, it would be those exact type of leaves where it has that zigzaggy effect.
Yeah, and in each of the hollows, there's just this little needle, and it's
all right,
neat.
Tessa, tell us the story of your cactus.
So I had talked to my therapist virtually because pandemic, and been like, yeah, I just got so many plants and was kind of using it as like retail therapy over this summer, and now I have too many plants. And she jokingly said, "Ha, that's kind of like an addiction." I was like, yeah, I'm gonna cut back, and my friend Emily said, hey, I need to get rid of all these plants. Do you want some? I was like, hey, I don't have to spend money on these. And my therapist had mentioned that her kids hang out with my friend Emily's kids. And I was like, it's probably fine. And so I drive to my friend Emily's house, and I'm loading up all of these plants. And I'm trying to figure out how to put this pointy-ass succulent in my car, and I have this tiny little like Crown Vic like thing, and so I'm trying to shove this cactus in my car when I see this car pull up to the house next door, and like my therapist kids who had been playing with the other people's kids, like they run over. I'm like, oh no, and I'm like holding this succulent, and she like gets in the car, and we make kind of eye contact, and I'm just like trying to shove this unwieldy plant in. And I like just awkwardly waved. I was like, oh shit, I said I was gonna stop getting plants. And my therapist gets home, and she doesn't know that like I'd be there, and I'm just like shoving this into my car. Oh, but and getting like pricked to death.
I think plants is an okay, like it could be worse. It could be. I mean, you know.
I would much rather buy too many plants than like methamphetamines.
Yeah.
At least it's
I'd
not
rather
meth.
buy methamphetamines. I'm not gonna.
I have like
It
200
depends on the type of
orders.
plant. I'm gonna.
Methamphetamine?
God, okay, you know what? No, I'm wrong. Your therapist is right. Fucking just ignore me. You've got too many, Tessa. That's enough.
I lost count.
If you've lost count of plants, I think that is all. Like that's a red flag. That is immediately a red flag.
So here's my question: do you count by pot, or do you count by like root system?
I count by pot, and so
That's worse.
to technically get rid of plants, I have been consolidating some, like if I have 3 of the same kind, I'm just like, okay, you all are like roommates now. And I've technically gotten rid of plants, even though it's taking up sort of the same blueprint with like this 12-inch pot. And and I keep like propagating plants. I just can't stop. And so I'm just like keep making babies off of these plants. And I'm trying to give them away, but like my coworker was like, "Oh no, like you can have it, sweetie." I was like, "No, I'm like a plant dealer in the parking lot, and for my work, it doesn't look good to be exchanging matter."
You want some weeds? I've got some real good succulent here.
Yeah. And like Steve said, it should be a threatening like presence that you feel, because like half of these things are toxic, honestly.
That explains it, because initially when I saw them, my immediate response was, "Hey, I'm gonna eat that," and that explains the
like, I gotta watch what rooms they're in, like specific ones. I'm like, because we have a dog watching like side business in my house, so I'm like, okay, these can't be in these rooms because some dumbass like pupper is just gonna nom on this and get like, best case scenario, diarrhea. Worst case scenario, we're gonna have to like rush it to the vet. So I'm like real careful about where we put shit.
Yeah, I think I would remove those. Like at that point in time, it feels like I'm gonna run a dog walking business and also chocolate factory. Just it'll be fine. It'll absolutely work out for everyone involved.
Nothing's gonna keep me from my love of like chocolate, honestly.
You have too many threatening, like, oh my goodness. I was gonna say we'll take one, but now I'm worried about Arabella.
Yeah, don't do it, Steve.
Because she's not smart.
Well, I do, like, my siblings all have dogs, so I propagate the dog-safe ones and give those away as, like, Christmas gifts. So...
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Some people...
you guys do specifically give the best gifts. Oh my goodness. You guys do specifically give the best gifts. Because the one that you got for Rebecca when you knitted her the little Sully and the little Mike Wazowski, just absolutely adorable. And then you did the birthday wish for Rebecca where you guys sang. Just fantastic.
I bawled my eyes out. Yeah.
That one broke Rebecca just harder than everything else.
It's true.
Weird one.
I'm really glad, because I was like parodying this song, and I was just like, do you think she'll like this, Anthony? He'd never read or watched The Color of Magic, and I dressed him as like Rincewind the Wizard, and
it came through. We knew exactly who it was.
It did. I could tell immediately, and like I just immediately started bawling my eyes out. Because I was like, oh my gosh, this is so adorable. And you guys started singing, and I was dead. Wholeheartedly. Like,
the puns were fantastic.
Yep.
Just so good.
Very good.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Tessa.
My first one shot as a DM, I based like entirely in Ankh-Morpork. And I recently made Anthony watch The Color of Magic.
Yeah!
And he really thought all this time, like in my almost 3 years as a DM, that I was really original and like creative. And he just like kept looking at me and going, wow, Tessa!
Everything! It's everything!
It was an Ankh-Morpork based campaign!
I had no clue until we watched it. I was like, oh, that suitcase has feet, huh?
How did you enjoy The Color of Magic, Anthony?
I enjoyed it thoroughly, but I was a bit disappointed by the ending, I will admit.
He was really shipping Wind and Two Flower.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a solid ship there. Have you enjoyed any of the other Terry Pratchett miniseries?
Let's see, we watched
Hogfather.
the
Going Postal.
Going Postal.
Going Postal.
I think
Have you guys watched the new one, The Watch, yet?
no. I'm kind of like I have strong opinions about Cherry Littlebottom and her feminine identity, and her identity as a dwarf, and where she's supposed to have a beard and a helmet and boots, and that's like vital to her cultural background. And so it's out yet? Like,
Yeah, it started releasing a few weeks ago.
what platform?
We'll do a watch party. All of us will sit together and we can
watch
all
watch
either
it together.
delight or recoil.
We also did watch Good Omens together.
Oh, we did watch Good Omens.
Good Omens was so good.
Good Omens is good as well.
Going Postal's my favorite because Moist Fun Lipwig is my baby. God damn it, I love him so much.
Oh man, that was my favorite movie of all, like, in general for like a few years. Like, I just loved it so much.
The movie was all right. I read the book. Well, I didn't read the book. I listened to it on audiobook,
That
and
counts.
man, I absolutely love the character there. And a lot of it came through in the movie. I just was disappointed with some things because I'm a picky little bitch.
After reading Making Money, I was like, this is just high tier comedy. Like, I love it. Like,
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then we are about
We're like 3/4 of the way through Raising Steam.
Raising Steam. That was, man, before pandemic too, because we used to actually go places and do things and would listen to audiobooks on the way. Now
No.
we're stuck inside and I don't want to listen to audiobook. You can't make me. So the thing that we always ask, that there's 2 questions we ask of people involved in D&D things, and you 2 were involved in D&D things, so you're getting them questions.
Alright.
The first one, of course, is if you could introduce any item into D&D, what would it be? Because we've done so with our Echoers. What would you introduce to D&D if you could?
does it have to be like a real world item, or like something you've had homebrewing, like in your brain?
I'll take either. I will take either one of those.
Now, Anthony does not like this idea, but
Well, then I'm on board. Let's go.
I'm scared.
you're about to change your mind, because I love jumping spiders,
Oh, Jesus.
and if they had those
I'm
like
out.
in the size of dogs, but also lovey like dogs, that would just make my whole world. Like, they have these big eyes and they're fluffy, they're just like puppies with twice the limbs. I'm so here for it. If they had the dog soul in there, like it's Daisy, but she's just a spider now, and she's like dog size, and she's so fuzzy. I like, if that could be a widely known thing in D&D, just like, oh, and her pet spider, who's adorable and lovey, and it licks you with its little mandibles. It loves you.
No.
Like, they're just so cute, and I wouldn't want a giant spider because spiders are like unpredictable to me. But if they had like, dogs are also kind of unpredictable, but like, there's good dogs. I'd want a good pupper spider.
I took psychic damage. That's what that was. I took psychic.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my! Like, I play Grounded on Xbox, and it's just no. I've dealt with giant spiders. I've dealt with big spider. No, I'm out. I don't want spiders at all. No, thank you. No fucking thank you. It is a nightmare seeing giant spiders in your peripheral and be like, oh shit.
Oh.
Anthony, would you please recoup this situation?
He
Okay,
he took
so-
psychic damage. Do you not understand?
I'm down. I actually today Tessa and I were sitting next to each other, and I leaned forward after no prompting. We weren't even like talking. I said, "Goat elephant," and I have been thinking about this for a while because I was like, those would be 2 creatures that would work very well together. I think as like one unit, like a little trunk, some horns, all fuzzy. At this point, I'm describing like an upside down mammoth, but still.
Did you say it would have hooves?
Yes.
Would it have the balance of, or would it have tusks?
Yes,
I've got a lot of questions now.
Both, duh.
Yes. and it's small like a goat. I feel like that would be a very good pet, and like a Beast Master Ranger sidekick.
Like,
I don't
is
know,
it like
given
pygmy goat size or large goat size? Or both?
Both.
because I'm gonna disagree solidly on this one, because now you've got a goat that can pretty much go wherever it wants to without your permission. It's going to use its trunk to open things. It's going to go through doors. That goat is going to fuck up your life. That's not like a regular goat there. That is
It not only has horns for ramming, but it has tusks.
Yes. He's like an improved Triceratops, because it has 4 horns now.
This is a nightmare. Initially, I was like, oh my goodness.
We do need to talk about how goats are very intelligent animals, and elephants are very intelligent animals.
That's a nightmare too. Yeah, I didn't even think of that one.
Like,
Oh God!
Knives.
imagine it has like the goat eyes.
Now it has
too.
5 horns.
And does it eat like a goat, or does it eat like an elephant? Is it like just constantly shoveling down food, but then just constantly shoveling down everything it can get its hands on?
Goat all the way. Anything and
Would
everything.
it eat through fencing? Like, oh my god, this is the start of a magical plague. I can feel
See,
it.
the best part about this is now our listeners are going to hear this, and they're going to be like, well, House Vidalis, we on that.
Oh yeah, you know what? That is true. You have a name for your goat elephants. You wanna capitalize on here. We'll make sure that it goes underneath that name.
Mammoth.
Mammoth. Aw.
Mammoth. All right.
All right, to any listeners out there who are good at building stat blocks,
Are probably not listening to us.
are probably
If
not
you have
listening to
any
us.
knowledge of, you know what? I don't know what I'm
I'll
doing.
pay you $5 for a mammoth stat block.
And that is how we go broke. You know what? This is ridiculous. Every single time I try and spend money on something crazy, it's a problem. When Aluthi spends money on mammoths, everyone's on board.
Oh my gosh, it's little huskies. It's so cute.
Imagine a baby one though, like
Yes.
running around like a little kid, and then it has those little horns and those bulbous eyes.
And
You know what? No, Steve. It would be so easy. Elephants are afraid of everything.
And goats are afraid of nothing.
No, but if you spook a goat, what does a goat do? And you go, bah! And you scare them.
Sometimes they do faint. That is
They
true.
faint.
That is fainting goats in particular, I don't think.
I love you guys.
Just the top of Sharn, you're in Skyway, and you're like, oh, it's so nice up here. And there's a fucking goat on the side of one of the buildings, just leering at you. It waves its trunk threateningly.
It can use its dexterity to open your window. It has a knife in its trunk. It stabs you. God,
It remembers
hard.
what you did. You took its apple. It's come for revenge.
I do want to.
No.
I do want to add that, like, growing up, we had goats, and one day we came back from school to find the door open, and the goat was on the table. It had figured out a way to open the door, get inside, and was actively standing on the table as we came home.
That's brilliant.
I also grew up.
You literally have this knowledge that goats get into, and you're like, let's give it elephant parts. That'll be fun. Anthony, you are part of the problem.
But now you see he can open the fridge and he can get whatever he wants out of there and then leave. He can shut the door now, too.
He also
I don't think he would. It's a goat. He's going to be an asshole.
He specified earlier today that the droppings are goat-like, but the tail is elephantine.
Yes.
These are important things to note.
Yes.
So, moving on to a different question, because we're going to get tied up in moats for years.
Yeah. Oh my god, I got questions about teeth. Yeah, let's not. Let's get away.
If you had access to a single spell from Dungeons & Dragons that you could cast in real life, what would it be?
This is where knowing 3.5 helps because you have actual spells instead of 5 edition where they have like 6 of them.
No, 5th edition only has like 6 good ones.
I'm gonna put Player's Handbook.
That's valid. I was actively thinking like, what spells do I know? And my only thought was fireball.
Yeah, like how can you use that legally in your day-to-day life?
Yeah.
But you're not
Well,
gonna
you
use
use it to deal with the goats.
Okay, but hear
Get
me
out of
out.
the kitchen somehow.
Yeah,
Okay.
like you go to a hospital and you start feeding people good berries.
Well, imagine like if you had cure wounds. Well, yeah, good berries do like 1 HP. If you could like, what if they had like cancer or something? Like, would you have to use like greater restoration or like?
Probably.
God damn you both. Can't you be selfish like the rest of us?
Wait.
Immediately being just altruistic with your spells, wanting to help people make the world a better place. God damn you both.
I feel like the only problem is that I feel like if I chose like wish, that's very I feel like that's the obvious go-to.
But that's also really risky.
Yeah.
And it's like you're.
It's only risky if you get a dick DM. I think that wish generally can be okay. If you're trying to break the game or your DM's an asshole, wish is a problem.
Meteor swarm.
Maybe like
I love that Anthony's just thinking of like destructive spells.
Insight into who Anthony really is.
polymorph because like it gives you temporary HP. Like you can do whatever the heck you need as like an elephant, and then if it injures you, you're like Gucci. But then also like as long as like if you're casting polymorph, you can like fly and stuff, right?
Yeah.
As long as you're not like just
Absolutely, yeah.
shape or like wild shape. So I definitely like. I'd just be really worried about getting shot in West Virginia. That's the backstory to like the Saberton python that got on the loose like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, it's just someone using polymorph, man.
Oh, shit.
I also do want to sort of slide this sort of into the idea box, and that is mass suggestion.
Oh, Anthony. Oh, my
At
goodness.
this point, I could be purple man with that. Actually, yeah, I am going to.
I'm sensing a lot of dark energy from the side of the
Yeah.
table.
I'm
like,
I'm very interested in what's going on with Anthony right now. Are you okay, buddy?
Hear me out. Mass suggestion. Become a motivational speaker.
Okay, like, you can do this.
Yes.
You could do that, but let's be honest. I'm gonna have that power and use it immediately for like 3-4 days. I'll be a good boy, and then at the end of that, I'm like, no, I am now in charge of everything. I know best.
Secretly casting Zone of Truth around, like, just being, like, in the bank and being like, Zone of Truth. And then, like, someone's gonna fucking trip up today.
Yeah.
They're all so cool. I would spider climb to be with my spider buddies. My, like, dog size spider
Nope.
buddies.
Your dog spider.
It's
You
like,
fucking monster.
it's like a corgi size. It's not huge.
I am now sensing a bit of dark energy coming from your side
This
of the
is
table.
love.
This is love.
Okay, Tessa, I want you to know, when we go back to D&D, we're going to talk. 3.5 has a thing called Vermin Lord. It's an evil thing, but you get a spider hand. I don't know if maybe that's up your alley.
Wait, like a
Just
hand
one.
that's shaped like a spider? But
like
it's
your
like
hand.
Your actual
yeah,
hand?
yeah, absolutely.
How is it attached?
It
That's kinda
detaches as well.
gross.
Oh yeah, it is, but you get like you. Oh my god, Vermin Lord has a whole bunch of cool stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, like all of these conversations have been like, man, I've got classes for all of you. Let's go.
That's icky.
You know how were-rats are, like, seen as less than? I think that's, like, around that zone. Like, just running around Kalimshan with my spider hand.
I think you can turn into a swarm too. Like you can just dissolve into like a swarm of bugs.
Ugh.
Yeah, like that.
Ugh.
Vermin Lord are great.
Ugh, yeah.
You're an erect
Gross.
Dracula.
I don't know what to put the polymorph here. I do not want to. I'm not want to be Spider Hand Sam. I'm just.
Just got Spider-Man in.
That might be my new character though.
Man, I've wanted to do an evil campaign. It would be fun to give that a shot again. Like running an evil campaign for people. I used to do that when I first started DMing. And then everyone got all like, no, I don't want to play an evil character. Evil campaigns aren't fun. And I really wish, man, I'd love to go back to that.
What if the whole arc was structured, or like the whole campaign was structured as a long redemption arc? Like how these characters got redeemed.
That would be fun. I also just enjoy, just a band of rogues, just having a good time.
I mean, I played a pretty solidly evil character at one point.
When I first did the other campaign that we had, what the hell's the name of that one? Keith Baker's.
Eyes of the Lich Queen.
Echoes the Last War.
Oh.
Shadows the Last War?
Shadows
the Last War. When I first did that one, I had a parallel campaign running as a group of Emerald Claw soldiers tracking down the group, trying to get a hold of them. So, both groups were played by the same people. So it was real fun. Yeah, it's fun to be bad guys sometimes. Not like horrible people, but
bad guys.
Yeah, bad guys.
Yeah,
you are a bad guy, but you are not bad guy.
So I think that'll do it, because we do have to do the other portion of this, and we are already pretty close to an hour. So, Anthony, Tessa, anything you guys want to pitch? Anything you guys have coming out in the world that you want us to... I don't know, you dropping a CD, maybe an art installation, some sort of Netflix show? I don't know. What do you guys have on?
The most I have going on is I run a plant Facebook page in the Morgantown, West Virginia area, called the Mon County Plant Exchange, and that's where people give away plants to each other. And if you want to join that, you're in West Virginia, that's kind of like the thing. You have to work or live in West Virginia.
So all of you listening from South Africa and Germany, unfortunately, you guys are not included in this one. I'm gonna have to say that.
That's like the closest thing I have to a promotion.
Yeah, I recently started a crochet account on Instagram, just to sell some of the crochet stuff I've come up with. I've only got 2 patterns on there right now that I am crocheting and giving to people, but I'm hoping to get more original crochet patterns to give to people.
So what's the name?
So what are your 2 current ones?
Right now I have Baymax in the Pride colors, just depending on what pride you may want, any color really, and a dog pattern, like a little sleepy puppy. And the account's name is Spicy Meatball. It's spicy with a 1 and 7 I, and meatball as in MEATBOL.
Is that space or down, or one word?
Yeah, one word.
One word.
All right, that is.
We'll
absolutely put that in there, because we definitely want to make sure. Maybe we'll have to talk to you, because you know what? We have the cockatrice that Rebecca's been sewing up. Maybe we'll have to see if we can get a crochet version, just to add a little variety.
Yeah, I have no idea how.
I don't know either, but maybe Anthony does. He seems like he's in the know of how to make things.
I will certainly try multiple times to do it.
Anthony, you don't have to do that at all.
Well, thank you. And as always, I hope everybody has a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.